I'm Cheyenne Riley, 32 years old, a biotech startup founder who's quietly built an empire in sustainable agriculture. But my family in Spokane always saw me as the invisible one, the daughter who sent money home but wasn't worth showing off. That summer, I flew back from Denver for our annual BBQ gathering, thinking I'd help with setups like always. I didn't expect the bombshell. At the family gathering in our Spokane backyard, Mom said coldly, "You being here only makes everyone uncomfortable." My sister laughed, shoving me out of the house like I was yesterday's trash. I left in silence, my heart pounding, but I didn't argue. No tears, no scene, just a quiet walk to my car and a flight back to Denver. 1 week later, 30 minutes of nonstop missed calls from Mom. Her voicemails escalated from confused to frantic, screaming about chaos unfolding. A true story. I had driven them to the edge, and they had no idea how far I'd go to reclaim my life. What started as a family rejection turned into their nightmare. You won't believe how it spiraled. If you've ever been pushed out by your own family, how would you hit back? Drop your story in the comments. I'd love to read it. That night, back in Denver, the quiet in my apartment pressed down like a weight I couldn't shake. I paced the living room for a bit, then sank into my chair, pulling up the banking app on my laptop. The screen lit up with rows of transactions, each one a reminder of how I'd kept their Spokane home afloat without a single acknowledgement. It wasn't just random help, it was precise $9,847 poured out over 8 months, month after month, like clockwork. I broke it down, staring at the numbers until they blurred. The electric bill alone hit $347, covering the air conditioning they blasted through those scorching Spokane summers when the mercury climbed high. Water came in at $203, likely from the endless lawn watering Dad obsessed over to keep the grass green for neighborhood barbecues. Internet clocked $89, letting them binge shows and scroll social media while I hustled in Denver, expanding my sustainable agriculture startup into new markets. Those figures weren't abstract, they were my overtime hours, my skipped vacations, all funneled into their comfort. And for what? To be shoved out like an unwanted guest. Dad's call came through first, his tone sharp and accusatory. "Cheyenne, something's wrong with the accounts. The bills are bouncing back. Did you mess up the transfers?" I let him talk, my finger hovering over the mute button. He kept going, his voice dropping as the reality sank in. "Zachary pulls in solid cash as a lawyer. I felt bad taking from my own daughter." Bad. The confession twisted in my gut. I'd wired that money to avoid their lights flickering off, to keep the fridge humming, while they built Zachary up as the family savior. He waited, expecting me to jump in and solve it, as if it was my job. Brianna's ringtone cut the tension next. She was my anchor from our Denver college days, always seeing through the family fog. "Listen," she said without preamble. "They've turned you into a hidden cash machine. Reliable. Quiet Cheyenne. Footing the bill while they pretend it's magic. Shut it down. Make them face the void." Her voice was steady. No fluff, just the raw push I needed. I murmured agreement, her words echoing as I ended the call. No outburst from me. No heated message back. I switched tabs to the transfer settings, my breath even. Electric canceled with a click. Water erased from the schedule. Internet wiped clean. The confirmation popped up. No pending payments. Clarity washed over me, cool and final. 8 months of invisible lifelines, severed in minutes. Their world would tilt soon enough. Morning light filtered through my blinds as the first messages buzzed in. Destiny's text, "Internet dead, you handling this?" Dad's follow-up, "Power notice came, check your side." Mom's voice note crackled with worry. "Cheyenne, systems are failing, call back." I ignored them all. Sipping coffee while the alert stacked, Brianna sent a quick note. Stick to it, they'll learn. The BBQ loomed tomorrow, their prized summer event. 30 friends crowding the yard, burgers sizzling, drinks flowing. Without basics, it'd unravel fast. I held firm. No responses. The day dragged, my thoughts drifting to their backyard under that relentless sun. 38 degrees Celsius bearing down. No relief from fans or taps. Dad's words replayed bad about my help. Fine. Let them pitch the outages to Zachary, their prized catch. Brianna rang once more that afternoon. Feeling it yet? She probed. Liberated, I replied. And it was true, the burden lifting. Piece by piece. One final ping from the bank cancellations processed. I shut the laptop, exhaling slowly. The unraveling was set in motion. They'd hunt for excuses, dial utilities, but the truth would surface. The unseen crutch had vanished, and the fall was coming. The calls went unanswered as the hours slipped by. 72 hours after I cut the cords, the hammer fell on their Spokane sanctuary. Electric company confirmed the cutoff, no payment, no power. Water utility followed suit. Pipes dry as bone. Internet provider pinged last. Service suspended for non-payment. No warnings, just the swift blade of overdue notices slicing through their routine. The BBQ kicked off under a blistering sun. 30 guests piling into the backyard, expecting cold beers and sizzling grills. But at 38 degrees Celsius, the heat wave turned brutal without AC humming or fans whirring. Ice melted in minutes, drinks warmed flat. Someone flipped a switch. Nothing. Dad fumbled with the circuit breaker, cursing under his breath as sweat soaked his shirt. Guests milled around, awkward laughs turning to complaints. Where's the hose for the kids? A cousin asked. No water pressure. Just a trickle, then zilch. The yard felt like an oven, air thick and sticky. People wiping brows with napkins that quickly turned damp. Mom's phone buzzed with frantic texts to me, but I let them stack. Destiny paced the kitchen, dialing utilities, her voice rising. This can't be happening now. The grill stayed cold, burgers thawing in the sun, no way to cook. Flies buzzed over uncovered salads, 30 people, no relief. The air thick with frustration. A uncle tried rigging a generator from his truck, but it sputtered out, adding to the humiliation. Kids ran inside for shade, but the house sweltered too. No fans to stir the stagnant air. D-Page grabbed her phone for a video call. Her face flushed in the dim shade. Cheyenne, everything's dead. Power, water, internet all gone. What's going on? Her camera swept the chaos, guests fanning themselves with plates. Kids whining. Dad arguing with a neighbor about borrowing extension cords. I watched without a word. The scene unfolding like a slow-motion disaster. Zachary wandered into frame, tie loosened, a beer in hand. He glanced at the screen casually, then froze. Wait, is that Cheyenne Riley? His eyes widened, squinting closer. Paige nodded, confused. He leaned in, voice dropping. The Cheyenne Riley from Green Harvest Ventures, the investor who bridged our firm through that rough patch 2 years ago. The room stilled, chatter fading like a dying echo. Guests leaned in. Curiosity peaked, as sweat dripped down necks. He didn't wait for confirmation. Oh man, without that funding, we'd have folded. Lawsuits piling up, clients jumping ship. You saved us, guests whispered, heads turning. Destiny stepped forward, face paling. What are you talking about? Zachary turned to her, disbelief etching his features. Your sister. She's the angel who kept my company alive. He shook his head, setting the beer down hard, the clink echoing in the tense quiet. The betrayal hit like a slap. Zachary faced Destiny squarely. You never mentioned her. Why hide someone like that? she stammered, arms crossing tight. It wasn't relevant, he scoffed. Not relevant. She's the reason I still have a job. Guests shifted, eyes darting between them. Dad muttered something about glitches, but the air crackled with tension. A few relatives pulled out phones, searching her name. Murmurs spreading like wildfire in the dry heat. Paige held the phone steady, her voice soft. They didn't want you here. Cheyenne said it'd embarrass Zachary. He whipped around. Embarrass me. She's a legend in our circles. Destiny reached for his arm, but he pulled back. This changes things. The call hung there, heavy, as the backyard swelter pressed in. I finally spoke. Voice calm. Sis. I've been saving his company for 2 years now. The silence on the line stretched for a moment. Destiny's panic kicked in hard. 47 missed calls over 3 days, her texts escalating from pleas to accusations. Fix this mess you caused. One read. I ignored them all, letting the phone vibrate on silent while I worked in Denver. But she didn't stop. By day 3, a notification popped: flight confirmation from Spokane to Denver. She was coming. Uninvited. She showed up at my door that evening, clutching a bouquet worth $200 roses and lilies, probably grabbed from an airport shop to soften the blow. Her makeup was flawless, but her eyes betrayed the desperation. Cheyenne, we need to talk, she said, stepping inside without waiting for an invite. The flowers hit the table with a thud. No hug, no small talk, just straight to it. I crossed my arms, leaning against the counter. She launched in, voice steady at first. That BBQ was a disaster because of you, but I'm here to make it right. Right. As if shoving me out the door was a minor hiccup. She paced my living room, then cut to the chase. I need $50,000 to launch my boutique online. Sustainable fashion. Influencer ties, it's ready to go. The ask hung there, bold and unapologetic. $50,000 like it was pocket change. I stared at her. You laughed while pushing me out. Now you want my money? She didn't flinch. That was a mistake. But this could change everything for me. You're loaded from your startup gig. Help your sister. My refusal came sharp. You already pushed me away. What makes you think I'd fund your dream now? Her face hardened, but she pressed on, pulling out her phone to show mock-ups, pastel logos, product shots. It's legit. TikTok campaigns lined up. I shook my head. Not with my cash, she argued, voice rising. Come on, Cheyenne. Family helps family. I didn't budge. Family, you treated me like an outsider. She left fuming, bouquet forgotten on the table. 2 days later, the real attack hit. An alert from my social media monitor flagged it Destiny's TikTok post, faking my endorsement. Thrilled to have strategic backing from Green Harvest Ventures founder for my new boutique, no tag, but the implication was clear. Fooling her 12,000 followers into thinking I was on board. Comments flooded in, congrats, big name support, shares spiked. Her account buzzing with false hype. I screenshot everything, my pulse steady. This wasn't just begging, it was theft, twisting my name for her gain. Brianna called when I told her. She's desperate, block her before it escalates. But the damage spread. Emails from confused contacts hitting my inbox. Partnering with your sister. I fired back clarifications, but the lie lingered. Destiny doubled down with more posts, videos teasing family-backed launches. Her follower count climbed, but deep down, the risk built. The war was on. Her move aggressive, mine calculated. The TikTok posts kept spreading, 3 days after Destiny's stunt. My phone lit up with a new alert: flight bookings from Spokane to Denver. Mom and Dad were coming now. Their names on the tickets, Kenneth and Deborah. I braced myself, knowing this wasn't a casual visit. They landed the next afternoon. pulling up to my apartment in a rental car. Mom stepped out first, holding a bottle of Spokane wine, a $30 red from a local vineyard meant to play peace offering. Dad trailed behind, his face tight, carrying nothing but expectation. They sat on my couch, the bottle placed carefully on the coffee table. No pleasantries. Just Mom clearing her throat. "Cheyenne, that barbecue is a low point," she said, voice measured but sharp. "We're here to move past it." I leaned back, waiting. Dad cut in, blunt. "We need $2,000 a month, no negotiation, bills are piling up, and you're in a position to help." The demand landed like a stone. $2,000 like it was rent I owed them. I kept my eyes steady. "You kicked me out of your house, called me an embarrassment. Now you want my money?" Mom's lips tightened, but she pushed on. "We're family. You've done well with your startup. It's not much to ask." Dad nodded, arms crossed. "You owe us for raising you." I didn't flinch. "If you need help, sell the Spokane house and split it. Or Destiny contributes 50%. The words hit like a spark to dry grass. Dad's face reddened, his voice rising. "Destiny's our golden child. She's got her own struggles. You don't touch her." His defense was fierce, a wall around their favorite. Mom's voice softened, almost pleading. "I'm scared we'll lose her if we push her too hard." Her admission hung there, raw and unguarded. She looked away, fingers twisting the edge of her sleeve. I saw it then, their fear of Destiny's collapse, their blind loyalty to her over me. They'd flown across states, brought wine, but it was just a trap to pull me back into their cycle. I stood, voice calm but firm. "I'm not your bank. If you want my money, it's on my terms or nothing." Dad scoffed, standing too, his chair scraping the floor. "You think you're above us now. All that startup cash doesn't make you family." Mom tried to intervene, her hand reaching out. "Cheyenne, we're just asking for help." But I shook my head. "You're asking for control." They argued more, voices overlapping Dad's anger, Mom's quiet guilt. I didn't bend. The wine sat untouched, its label peeling in the heat of the room. They left after 20 minutes, Dad muttering about ingratitude, Mom silent but glancing back. I shut the door. The click final. Brianna texted later, checking in. "How'd it go?" I replied, "They set a trap. I didn't fall." She sent a thumbs up. But I felt the weight settling. Their visit wasn't about reconciliation, it was about leverage. They'd come to Denver thinking I'd cave, but I was done being their crutch. The real fight was brewing, and I sensed it in the air. The comments started piling up. Destiny's TikTok facade unraveled fast. Her 12,000 followers sniffed out the lie when a local influencer cross-checked my name. Posting "Green Harvest Ventures says no partnership." Reports flooded the platform, fans tagging TikTok's moderation team. By nightfall, her account faced mass reports, comments turning venomous, scammer, fake endorsement. Her videos, once hyped, were flagged for misleading claims, views plummeting as the algorithm throttled her reach. She didn't back down. Destiny posted a vague apology clip, claiming a miscommunication, but it only fueled the fire. Her follower count dropped to 11,000 in hours, sponsors pulling inquiries as the scandal spread. I got calls from industry contacts, 2 startup founders, a PR rep asking if I'd sued yet. I hadn't, but I was ready. 4 days after her visit, the next blow landed. A knock at my Denver apartment door revealed Mom, Dad, and a new face, Derek Vance, their family lawyer. He was mid-40s, suit slightly wrinkled, clutching a folder with a smug nod. "Cheyenne," he said, stepping in, "we need to resolve this." Mom avoided my eyes, Dad's jaw set tight. They sat, the folder hitting my table like a verdict. Vance opened it, sliding papers across. Your parents request you sign this release. It waives any claim to their Spokane property after their passing. In return, they won't pursue restitution for the barbecue disruptions. I blinked. Restitution for their own mess. Dad leaned forward. You tanked our event, Cheyenne. Guests talked for weeks. You owe us. Mom added softly, just sign. Let's keep the peace. I pushed the papers back. You think I'll sign away my rights because you're embarrassed? Vance adjusted his glasses. It's a fair deal. Refuse. And we'll file for damages disruption. Emotional distress. I laughed. Short and cold. Go ahead. I'll countersue for identity theft and defamation. Destiny's TikTok stunt is evidence enough. Mom flinched. Dad's eyes narrowed. Vance hesitated, pen tapping the folder. The standoff thickened. I stood, pacing to my window. You used my name for clout. Destiny. Now you're using lawyers to scare me, Dad snapped. You're tearing us apart over money. I turned, voice steady. You tore us apart when you chose her over me. Mom's hands shook, but she stayed quiet. Vance tried again. Sign. And this ends cleanly. I shook my head. I'm done cleaning your messes. Brianna's text came through as they argued. Don't budge. They're bluffing. I trusted her instincts. She'd seen through their games before. The folder sat untouched, papers curling at the edges. Dad's voice rose, accusing me of betrayal, while Mom murmured about family unity. Vance jotted notes, his confidence slipping as I held firm. They left after 30 minutes. Vance warning of legal steps. Dad muttering about my selfishness. Mom lingered at the door, eyes pleading. Cheyenne, think about us. I closed it without a word. The lock clicked shut, my resolve hardening. They weren't here for peace, they wanted control. And I wasn't giving it. The papers stayed unsigned. I blocked them all the next morning. Destiny. Mom. Dad. Every number tied to Spokane. No hesitation. Just a few taps on my phone. Their names vanishing from my notifications. I called my lawyer, a sharp Denver attorney named Rachel Holt, and laid out the evidence. Destiny's TikTok lies. The 12,000 followers misled. The inheritance release papers. File for identity theft and defamation, I told her. They don't get to use my name or my life anymore. She nodded over the call, already drafting letters. Destiny's world crumbled fast. Her boutique's TikTok account, once buzzing with $8,000 a month in sponsorship deals, tanked after the mass reports. Brands pulled out, citing breached contracts. Her follower count sank below 10,000. Comments now a graveyard of accusations. Liar. Fraud. She tried one last post, a tearful video blaming haters, but it flopped. Buried by the algorithm. Debts piled up. $23,000 in unpaid supplier invoices for her eco-fashion dream. She was done. Her startup a smoking ruin. Mom and Dad faced their own reckoning. The Spokane house. Their pride. Sold for $340,000 to cover mounting bills and legal fees from their failed threats. They moved into a cramped apartment, $800 a month, on the edge of town. Neighbors stopped waving, word of their stunt spreading through Spokane's tight-knit streets. The community, once warm, turned cold. Gossip about their greed and betrayal echoed at local diners, church groups, even the corner store. I didn't gloat. I didn't need to. Brianna called, her voice steady. You okay after cutting them off? I paused, staring at my Denver skyline view. Better than ever, I said, and I meant it. My startup, Green Harvest Ventures, was thriving. New contracts signed, a team growing, my name clean despite Destiny's lies. I worked late, sketching plans for a new sustainable farm project, my desk littered with notes and coffee cups. Each deal felt like a brick in a life I'd built alone. Word trickled back through a mutual friend. Destiny took a temp job at a Spokane call center, barely scraping by, her influencer dreams dead. Mom and Dad struggled, their savings drained, picking up odd jobs, Dad driving delivery, Mom cleaning houses. The community's whispers grew louder, their reputation shredded in a town where everyone knew everyone. They'd gambled on controlling me and lost everything. I didn't call back, didn't check in. My lawyer sent a cease and desist to Destiny, shutting down any lingering posts. The legal threats from their side fizzled. Derek Vance backed off when my countersuit loomed. I focused forward, meeting with investors, pitching ideas. My days full, and mine. Brianna invited me to a weekend hike in the Rockies, and I laughed freely for the first time in years, the weight gone. Freedom came at a cost. I paid with money $9,847 over 8 months to keep their lights on. They paid with their lives' reputation. Home, pride, all gone. The lesson hit hard. Toxic family will drain your worth if you let them. I chose boundaries, chose myself, and built a life they couldn't touch.